The message came on a cold Tuesday morning. It traveled across the empty space between stars, carrying words that would change everything. Admiral Yuna was drinking her coffee when the communication officer called her to the bridge. She put down her cup and walked calmly through the metal corridors of the Hanyul, Earth's biggest warship. The bridge was quiet when she entered. Every officer stood at their station, but no one moved. They all stared at the large screen on the wall. Yuna looked at the screen and read the message slowly. People of Earth, you have been discovered by the Galactic Confederation. We are an alliance of 847 species. We have ruled this galaxy for 12,000 years. No civilization has ever refused our rule. You have 30 days to surrender completely. If you refuse, your planet will be destroyed. Your species will end. This is not a warning. This is a fact. Yuna read it twice. Then she did something that surprised everyone on the bridge. She laughed. Captain Taiho walked to her side. He was a tall man with a scar on his face from an old battle. His eyes showed worry. Admiral, what should we do? Yuna turned to look at the stars through the window. Somewhere out there, an alien fleet was gathering. Ships from hundreds of different species, all coming to destroy her home. They had conquered races that could bend gravity. They had defeated beings made of pure energy. They had never lost. Contact Defense Minister Park, she said. Her voice was calm but hard like steel. Tell him to wake the builders. The color left Taiho's face. His hands started to shake slightly. Admiral, the builders have not been active for over 100 years. The last time they woke up. I know what happened, Yuna interrupted. I know the stories. My grandmother told me about the day they went to sleep. She said the sky turned dark for 3 days. She said people could feel something watching them, something so old and powerful that it made them want to cry. Then you know why we should be careful. Yuna looked at her captain. Her eyes were serious. Taiho, these aliens have killed billions across the galaxy. They think we are weak. They think we will bow down like everyone else. But they do not know our secret. They do not know what sleeps beneath our feet. She walked to her command chair and sat down. Send the message. Wake the builders. Deep beneath the Korean peninsula, in a place that appeared on no map, something heard the call. The facility had been built in the year 2156 around structures that were already there. Structures that humans had not made. Structures that were older than human civilization itself. Director Jisoo received the order in her underground office. She was an old woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. She had spent 40 years studying the builders. She knew more about them than anyone alive. And she was afraid. Are you sure about this? She asked the hologram of Defense Minister Park. The Admiral has given the order. The government agrees. We have no choice. Jisoo nodded slowly. She ended the call and walked to the main control room. Hundreds of scientists worked there, monitoring machines they did not fully understand. On the walls, screens showed images of the things sleeping in the deep chambers below. Begin the awakening sequence, Jisoo said. The room went silent. Everyone stopped working and looked at her. Director, we have not done this since 2298. We do not know if the protocols still work. We do not know if they will listen to us. They will listen, Jisoo said, though she was not certain. They've always protected us. That is why they exist. She pressed her hand against the panel on the main console. The machine scanned her DNA, her brain patterns, her very soul. Then a sound came from deep below. It was not a sound that human ears could fully hear. It was more like a feeling, a vibration that went through bones and hearts and minds dotted in the sleeping chambers. Lights began to turn on. They were not electric lights. They were something else, something that glowed with colors humans had no names for. The darkness that had lasted for over a century started to fade, and then they moved. The first builder to wake was Unit 1. It had been sleeping since the day humans discovered it in a cave in the mountains. That was 300 years ago. Scientists had studied it, tried to understand it, tried to copy its technology. They had failed at everything except one thing. They had learned to talk to it. Unit 1's body was made of a material that did not exist anywhere else in the universe. It was black, but also every other color at the same time. It was solid, but also liquid. It was small, but also impossibly large. Looking at it made human minds hurt. The builder rose from its resting place. It was shaped like a human, 50 meters tall. Its surface moved constantly, patterns flowing across it like thoughts made visible. It turned its head, if you could call it a head, and looked up. Through kilometers of rock and metal, it could see the stars. It could see the enemy coming. In the control room, every screen went white. Then a voice spoke. It was not a voice that came from speakers. It came from inside every person's mind. "Why have you woken us?" Jisoo stepped forward. Her heart was beating fast, but she kept her voice steady. "Enemies are coming. They want to destroy Earth. They want to kill all humans." There was a long pause. The builder was thinking, or maybe it was talking to others of its kind. Jisoo could not tell. "Show you." She transmitted all the data they had about the Galactic Confederation. Their ships, their weapons, their history of conquest. The builder absorbed it all in less than a second. Another pause. Then the voice came again, and this time it was different. There was something in it that sounded almost like anger. Or maybe it was something older than anger. Something that had protected humanity since before humans could walk upright. They dared to threaten our children. It was not a question. Across the planet, in hidden places that humans had forgotten about, other builders began to wake. In the ocean depths, under ancient mountains, buried in deserts, sleeping in caves. 12,000 of them, all opening their eyes for the first time in over a century. Admiral Yuna felt the change from her ship in orbit. Everyone felt it. A weight in the air, a pressure in the mind. Something was coming. Something old and powerful and completely on humanity's side. She smiled and looked at the stars, where the enemy fleet would soon appear. "Let them come," she whispered. "Let them see what protects us." The Galactic Confederation's advance fleet arrived 22 days after they sent their message. Grand Commander Vrex stood on the bridge of his ship, the Eternal Conquest, and looked at Earth with hungry eyes. He was a reptile creature, tall and covered in green scales. His species had led the Confederation's military for 6,000 years. They had never known defeat. "Report," he said to his tactical officer. "The humans have 16 large ships and about 200 smaller ones. They use old fusion engines. Their weapons shoot metal bullets. Their shields are weak. This will be easy, Commander." Rex made a sound that meant he was pleased. His scales shifted colors slightly. "Good. We will destroy them before the main fleet even arrives. I want to present Earth to the Council as a gift." He turned to his weapons officer. "Target their biggest ship, the one they call Haniel. Kill it first, then kill everything else." "Yes, Commander." The weapons officer began to press buttons on his console. The Eternal Conquest's guns started to charge. Around it, 50 other Confederation warships did the same. Their weapons were powerful enough to crack planets. They had destroyed civilizations that had existed for millions of years. Admiral Yuna watched them from the Haniel's bridge. Her crew was nervous. They could see the enemy ships on their screens. They could see how many there were. They could see how big they were. "Admiral," Captain Taiho said quietly, "they are charging weapons." "I see. Should we?" Should we do something? Una smiled. It was a strange smile. The smile of someone who knew a secret. We do not need to do anything. They will. At that moment, space itself seemed to change. The darkness between the stars became deeper. The light from the sun became dimmer. And then, from behind Earth's moon, something appeared. It was not a human ship. It was black, completely black, like a hole in reality. It was shaped like nothing Rex had ever seen. Sharp angles, impossible geometry, surfaces that seemed to move even when they were still. And it was not alone. More ships appeared. From behind the moon, from the asteroid belt, from places where nothing should exist. Hundreds, thousands, 12,000 ships, all black, all wrong, all radiating a power that made every sensor in the Confederation fleet go crazy. What? What is that? Rex whispered. His tactical officer was shaking. His scales had turned white with fear. Unknown, Commander. Our systems cannot identify them. They do not match any species in our database. The technology is impossible. It should not exist. Impossible. Nothing is impossible. Fire! Fire everything! The Confederation fleet opened fire. Beams of energy, missiles, plasma bombs, everything they had. The weapons flew toward the black ships. They should have hit. They should have destroyed. They did not. The black ships did not dodge. They did not use shields. The weapons simply stopped. In mid-space, they just stopped, hung there for a moment, and then fell apart. Every molecule separated from every other molecule. The most powerful weapons in the galaxy became dust. Then the black ships fired back. Rex did not understand what he was seeing. The black ships did not shoot beams or missiles. They shot something else. Something that looked like darkness given form. When it touched a Confederation ship, the ship did not explode. It did not burn. It simply came apart. The ship next to the Eternal Conquest was a battlecruiser. Called the Iron Fist, it had a crew of 5,000. In less than 3 seconds, it ceased to exist. The hull separated into pieces. The pieces separated into smaller pieces. The smaller pieces became atoms. The atoms scattered into the void. No fire. No explosion. Just a ship becoming nothing. Retreat. Rex screamed. All ships retreat. But it was too late. The black ships were everywhere now. They moved without engines, without visible thrust. They simply appeared where they wanted to be. And wherever they appeared, Confederation ships died. On the Haniel. Admiral Una watched the battle with calm eyes. Dr. Mira stood beside her, holding a tablet and recording everything. They are beautiful, Myra whispered. Terrible and beautiful. They are protecting us, Una said. That is what they were made to do. Made? Admiral, we did not make them. They made us. Una turned to look at the scientist. What do you mean? But before Myra could answer, something happened that made everyone stop. One of the black ships moved directly in front of the Eternal Conquest. It was bigger than the others. Much bigger. And it stopped there, facing the Confederation flagship, waiting. Rex stared at it through his view screen. His body was frozen. His mind was filled with fear, unlike anything he had ever known. In 6,000 years of military history, his species had never felt fear. Now he understood why other species feared them. Now he felt what they had felt. Commander, his communication officer said, voice shaking, they are sending a message. Play it. The message was not words. It was a feeling. A thought that entered every mind on every Confederation ship at the same time. You came to kill our children. You threatened what we built. You will not leave this place. You will not warn the others. You will simply end. Rex tried to respond. He tried to say something about surrender, about peace, about mercy. But the black ship was already moving. It touched the eternal conquest with something that looked like a hand. A hand made of darkness and geometry and ancient power. The flagship began to come apart. Rex watched as his bridge was pulled into pieces around him. He saw his officers float into space, their bodies still alive, still aware. The black ship was not just killing them. It was showing them, making them watch, making them understand. Before his eyes froze in the vacuum, Rex managed to send one last message to the main Confederation fleet. They have something we cannot fight. They have guardians. They have. The message ended in less than an hour. All 50 Confederation ships were gone. Not one survived. Not one crew member escaped. The black ships had left nothing but atoms floating in the void. Then, just as suddenly as they had appeared, the black ships went dark. They did not leave. They did not return to their hiding places. They simply waited, floating in space around Earth like a wall of shadows. Admiral Una looked at the empty space where the enemy fleet had been. Then she looked at the black ships that now surrounded her planet. They had won, but she knew this was just the beginning. "Dr. Myra," she said slowly, "you said they made us. I think you need to explain what you mean by that." Myra nodded. Her face was pale but excited. "It is a long story, Admiral. And when you hear it, everything you know about humanity will change." Somewhere in the galaxy, the main Confederation fleet received Rex's last message. 4 million ships and 847 species heard his final words. And for the first time in 12,000 years, they knew fear. 3 days after the battle, Admiral Una traveled to Earth. She took a small shuttle from the Haniel and flew down through the clouds. The planet looked peaceful from above. Blue oceans, green lands, white clouds. The people below had no idea how close they had come to death. They did not know that alien ships had tried to destroy them. They did not know about the black ships that had saved them. The shuttle landed at a military base in Korea. A car was waiting for Una. She got in, and they drove for hours, going deeper and deeper into the mountains. Finally, they stopped at what looked like an old temple. But Una knew it was not a temple. It was a door. Director Jisoo was waiting for her at the entrance. The old woman looked tired but happy. "Welcome, Admiral. I have been expecting you. I have questions," Una said. "I know. Follow me." They walked through the temple and into a hidden elevator. The elevator went down. It went down for a long time. Una watched the numbers change. 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. Finally, it stopped. The doors opened and Una stepped into a world she did not know existed. The underground facility was enormous. It was larger than any building she had ever seen. The ceiling was so high that clouds had formed near the top. Lights floated in the air, glowing with colors that hurt her eyes. And everywhere, scientists in white coats walked and worked and studied. "This facility has existed for 300 years, Jisoo explained as they walked. "But the structures inside it are much older. We built around them. We tried to understand them. We mostly failed. The builders made all this? The builders made everything, Admiral, including us. They came to a massive door. It was made of the same black material as the builder ships. Patterns moved across its surface like living things." Jisoo placed her hand on the door, and it opened. Inside was a chamber the size of a stadium. And in the center, floating in the air, was a builder. Una stopped walking. Her breath caught in her throat. The builder was 50 meters tall, shaped like a human but not human at all. Its body was made of darkness and light at the same time. Its surface moved constantly, showing patterns that almost looked like thoughts. It had no face, but somehow Una knew it was looking at her. "This is Unit 1, Jisoo said quietly. It was the first builder we ever found. 300 years ago, a farmer discovered it in a cave. It was sleeping. We brought it here. We studied it. And eventually, it woke up and started talking to us. Talking? Not with words. With thoughts. Direct communication. Mind to mind. It took us decades to understand. But when we finally did, we learned the truth about humanity. Yuna stared at the builder. It did not move, but she felt something from it. Curiosity, interest, and something else. Something that felt almost like love. Tell me, she said. Tell me everything. Jisoo sat down on a bench near the wall. She looked old suddenly, carrying the weight of knowledge that no one should have to carry alone. 200,000 years ago, the builders came to Earth. They were a dying race. The oldest race in the universe, but dying. They had existed for billions of years. They had seen galaxies form and die. They had done everything, learned everything, become everything. And now they were fading away. Why were they dying? We do not know. Maybe there is a limit to how long any species can exist. Maybe they simply got tired of living. But they did not want to disappear completely. They wanted to leave something behind. Something that would carry their legacy into the future. Jisoo looked at the builder floating silently above them. They found Earth, a small planet with simple animals. Nothing special, but they saw potential. They saw a species that could one day become something great. So they helped. Help how? They guided our evolution. Small changes over thousands of generations. They protected us from asteroids that would have destroyed all life. They killed predators that would have hunted us to extinction. They watched over us like parents watching their children. Yuna felt dizzy. Everything she knew about human history, about where people came from, about who they were, it was all different now. We are their creation? Not their creation. Their children. They did not make us like machines. They raised us like family. They gave us their knowledge, their technology, their protection. And then, when we were ready to walk on our own, they went to sleep. Why did they sleep? Because children need to grow without their parents watching all the time. They wanted us to develop our own culture, our own science, our own identity. They wanted us to become something new, not just copies of them. The builder moved. Just slightly, just a small shift in its floating position. But both women felt it. Felt its attention focusing on them. Admiral Yuna. The voice came directly into her mind. You have questions. Yuna stepped forward. Her heart was beating fast, but she was not afraid. This thing had protected humanity for 200,000 years. It was not her enemy. It was her guardian. Why? She asked out loud. Why did you do all this? Why do you protect us? The builder was silent for a long moment. Then the answer came, and it was the saddest thing Yuna had ever felt. We were alone for so long, billions of years. Watching stars burn and die, we had everything except one thing. We had no one to love, no one to protect. Nitrogen monoxide, one to call family. Then we found your ancestors, small and weak and beautiful, and we decided that we would give them everything we had, even if I meant our END. Tears ran down Yuna's face. She did not know why she was crying. Your end? When we gave you our knowledge, we gave part of ourselves. When we wait to protect you, we use what little life we have left. One day, there will be nitrogen monoxide, more builders, but there will be humans, and that is enough. Jisoo stood up and walked to Yuna's side. Now you understand, Admiral. The builders are not just our protectors. They are our ancestors in the truest sense. They gave everything so that we could exist. And now, when enemies come to destroy us, they wake up one more time. They spend more of their fading life to keep us safe. Una wiped her eyes. She looked up at the builder, this ancient being that had watched over her species since before history began. The Confederation will send more ships. Many more. Can you stop them all? We can. But there's a cost. Every time we fight, we die a little more. Eventually, there will not be enough of yous left to protect you. Then what do? You do what children always do. You grow up. You become strong. You learn to protect yourselves. We have given you everything you need. The rest is up to you. Una nodded slowly. She understood now. The builders would fight this battle for humanity. Maybe even the next one. But eventually, humans would have to stand on their own. That was always the plan. That was always the gift. Thank you, she said to the builder, for everything. The ancient being did not respond with words. Instead, it sent a feeling. A wave of warmth and pride and love that filled every part of Una's heart. It was the feeling of a parent looking at their child and knowing they had done something good. Then the builder went still again, saving its strength for the battle to come. Admiral Una left the underground facility with a new understanding of who she was and what she had to do. The galaxy wanted to destroy humanity, but humanity had guardians. Ancient, powerful, dying guardians who would spend their last breaths keeping humans safe. She would not let that sacrifice be wasted. The Galactic Confederation gathered the largest fleet in the history of the universe. 4 million warships from 847 different species came together at the edge of human space. They filled the darkness between stars like an ocean of metal and fire. Their engines made the void itself vibrate. Their weapons could destroy planets, crack moons, shatter asteroids. They had conquered every species they had ever met. They had ruled the galaxy for 12,000 years. Today, they would learn what fear truly meant. High Commander Nex stood on the bridge of the Galactic Will, the biggest ship ever built. It was 20 kilometers long and carried weapons that could burn continents. Nex was tall and thin, with gray skin and 4 black eyes. His species had helped create the Confederation. They had been there from the beginning. Report, he said calmly. All ships are in position, Commander. 4,200,000 vessels ready for battle. The humans have 60,000 ships defending their system. 60,000. Nex made a sound like laughter. And those black ships? The ones that destroyed the advanced fleet. Our sensors detect approximately 50,000 of them, Commander. 50,000 against 4 million. Nex looked at the stars where Earth waited. They killed 50 of our ships. An impressive number for primitive creatures. But numbers matter. We have more ships than they have weapons. We will overwhelm them. He turned to his fleet commanders, who watched him through holographic screens. Representatives of hundreds of species, all united in their desire to destroy humanity. Today, we end this. The humans have some kind of automated defense system. It is powerful, but it is limited. We will throw our full might against them. Some of us will die, but we will win. And when we are done, the humans will be a memory. A warning to anyone who dares refuse the Confederation. The fleet commanders cheered. Well, some of them cheered. Others made whatever sounds their species used to show approval. The Confederation was united. The Confederation was strong. The Confederation had no idea what was waiting for them. Admiral. Una stood on the bridge of the Haniel and watched the enemy fleet appear on her screens. 4 million ships. The number was so large it seemed unreal. Like a bad dream. Like something from a story meant to scare children. Admiral, Captain Taiho said softly, they are preparing to jump into our system. I see. What are your orders? Una looked at the screens. Then she looked out the window at the builder fleet floating nearby. 50,000 black ships, waiting in perfect silence. They had been active for weeks now, and Dr. Myra said their energy levels were dropping. Every day they stayed awake, they died a little more. "Contact the builders," Una said. "Ask them if they are ready." A moment later, the answer came directly into her mind. "We are ready, but you must give the order. This is your war, your decision. We will not act without human permission." Una closed her eyes. 4 million enemy ships. Trillions of alien beings, all wanting her people dead. And the only thing standing between them and Earth were ancient creatures who had spent 200,000 years protecting humanity. "Do it," she said. "Show them what happens when you threaten your children." The Confederation fleet jumped into the Sol system. 4 million ships appeared around Saturn's orbit, filling space with their presence. High Commander Nex looked at his tactical display and smiled. The human fleet was near Earth. The black ships were spread throughout the system. It would take time for them to concentrate their forces. "All ships, advance. Destroy everything in your path." The fleet moved forward like a wave of death. Ships of every size and shape, weapons charging, hungry for destruction. They had come to end humanity, and nothing would stop them. Then the builders responded. From behind Saturn, something emerged. Something that dwarfed everything else in the system. It was a builder ship, but not like the others. It was 300 kilometers long. 300 kilometers of black material and impossible geometry, floating in space like a mountain given life. "What? What is that?" Nex whispered. His tactical officer was screaming numbers that made no sense. Energy readings off the scale. Mass readings that violated physics. The thing was not just big. It was powerful beyond measurement. "That is a builder dreadnought," said a voice that Nex had never heard before. He spun around and saw nothing. But the voice continued, speaking directly into his mind. "The last of its kind. We kept eyes sleeping because to wake. ITs to spend most of what remains of our existence, but you threatened our children. You gave US nitrogen monoxide choice." The dreadnought fired. A beam of darkness shot from its front. It was not light. It was not energy. It was something deeper. Something fundamental. When it touched the Confederation ships, they did not explode. They did not burn. They simply stopped existing. One beam. One shot. 50,000 ships gone in an instant. Nex watched his tactical display with growing horror. Red icons disappeared by the thousands. Ships that had taken years to build, crewed by beings who had lived for centuries, all gone in less than a second. "Fire back!" he screamed. "All ships, fire everything!" The Confederation fleet unleashed the full power of 12,000 years of weapons development. Beams of energy that could melt planets. Missiles that carried the force of exploding stars. Gravity weapons that could tear holes in space itself. None of it mattered. The smaller builder ships moved through the Confederation fleet like shadows. They did not dodge. They did not need to. Weapons passed through them like they were not there. And when they touched enemy ships, those ships came apart. Piece by piece, molecule by molecule. The battle became a slaughter. On the Haniel, Admiral Una watched the destruction with mixed feelings. The builders were winning, but she could feel their pain. Every ship they destroyed, every weapon they used, it cost them something. She could feel them dying. "Admiral," Dr. Myra said, her voice filled with tears, "the builders' energy levels are dropping fast. They are using everything they have. How long can they last? At this rate, maybe 2 more hours. But the battle will be over by then." Una nodded. The Confederation fleet was already breaking. Ships were trying to escape, jumping to faster than light speeds, running in every direction. But the builders were everywhere. They blocked every exit. They hunted every runner. Nitrogen monoxide 1 leaves. the builder voice said in her mind. No one survives to warn the others. This ends here. I Commander Nex sat in his command chair as the galactic world died around him. The builder dreadnought was directly above him now, blocking out the stars. His flagship, the pride of the Confederation, was being taken apart piece by piece. Why? He asked the darkness. Why do you protect them? They are just animals. Primitive creatures who have existed for barely a moment. The answer came like thunder in his mind. They are our children. They are the reason we still exist. They are the best thing we ever made, and we will destroy anyone who threatens them. Anyone. Always. Next. And one final thought before his ship ceased to exist. He thought about his own children, back on his homeworld. He thought about how far he would go to protect them. And he understood. He finally understood. The humans were not just lucky to have protectors. They were loved by being so ancient and powerful that they had watched galaxies die. Loved so much that those beings would spend their last breath keeping them safe. The Confederation had made a terrible mistake. They had declared war on someone's children, and now they paid the price. The battle lasted 11 hours. When it was over, 3.7 million Confederation ships had been destroyed. Not captured, not damaged. Destroyed completely. The human fleet had not lost a single vessel. The builders went dark and drifted silently in space. They were still alive, but barely. Dr. Myra's readings showed that their energy levels were at less than 5%. They had given almost everything to protect humanity. Admiral Una looked at the debris field that had once been the greatest fleet in galactic history. Then she looked at the silent builder ships floating nearby. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for everything. In her mind, she felt a response. Weak, tired, but still warm with love. Protect yourselves now. We may not be able to do this again, but we believe in you. We always have. Then silence. The builders slept once more, exhausted from their battle. Humanity was safe. For now. 6 months passed since the Battle of Sol. The galaxy changed in ways no one could have predicted. The Galactic Confederation, which had ruled for 12,000 years, collapsed in weeks. Without their military, without their leaders, without the fear that had held them together, the 847 species went their separate ways. Some returned to their homeworlds and closed their borders. Others formed new alliances. A few simply disappeared, running to the edges of the galaxy where no one would find them. And Earth? Earth became the center of everything. Ships came from across the galaxy. Not warships this time. Diplomatic vessels, trading ships, exploration craft. Everyone wanted to meet the humans. Everyone wanted to understand how such a young species had defeated the greatest military force in history. And everyone wanted to know about the builders. Admiral Una retired from the military. She had seen enough war. Instead, she joined the newly formed Galactic Council, an organization that would replace the Confederation. Humans did not want to rule the galaxy. They just wanted to make sure no one else did either. The first meeting of the new council was held on a space station orbiting Earth. Representatives from 300 species attended. They sat in a great circular chamber, facing a stage where the human ambassador would speak. Ambassador Yeho walked to the center of the stage. He was a young man, only 35 years old, chosen because he spoke 12 alien languages and had a gift for making people trust him. He looked at the assembled representatives. Some had faces. Some had tentacles. Some were made of energy. Some were machines. All of them were watching him with emotions that ranged from fear to curiosity to hope. Thank you for coming, Yahoo began. His voice was calm and friendly. I know many of you are afraid. The Confederation told you that we were dangerous. that our protectors would destroy anyone who came near Earth. I want to tell you that this is not true. A murmur ran through the chamber. Some of the representatives looked doubtful. The builders did not attack the Confederation because humans wanted conquest. They attacked because the Confederation threatened to destroy our planet and kill everyone on it. They came to murder billions of innocent people who had done nothing wrong. The builders simply protected their children. He paused and looked around the room. That is what parents do. They protect their children. The builders are ancient. They are powerful beyond anything we can understand. But they are not evil. They are not conquerors. They are simply beings who loved us enough to die for us. A being that looked like a floating crystal spoke up. Ambassador, the builders killed 4 million of our ships. Trillions of beings died. How can you call that love? How many ships did the Confederation send to destroy Earth? Yeho asked calmly. How many beings were ready to murder billions of humans, including children, including elderly, including people who had never heard of the Confederation? The builders offered you a choice. Leave in peace or face consequences. The Confederation chose violence. The builders responded. Another representative, a tall insect creature, clicked its mandibles. What do you want from us? You have the most powerful weapons in the galaxy. You could rule us all. We want nothing except peace and friendship. Humans do not wish to rule anyone. We have enough trouble ruling ourselves. A small laugh ran through the crowd. What we want is simple: trade, cooperation, mutual respect. A galaxy where species can live without fear of being conquered. But the builders are sleeping. They gave almost everything they had to protect us. They may never wake again. And honestly, we hope they do not have to. We hope that the galaxy can learn to live in peace without ancient beings having to sacrifice themselves. Yeho walked to the edge of the stage and looked directly at the representatives. For 12,000 years, the Confederation ruled through fear. They conquered and enslaved and destroyed anyone who refused to submit. Is that the galaxy you want? A galaxy where the strong crush the weak? Where different species cannot live together in peace? Silence. No one spoke. No one moved. Humans offer you a different path. We offer friendship instead of fear, cooperation instead of conquest. We do not want your worlds or your resources. We want to learn from you. We want to share with you. We want to build something better than what came before. He smiled, and there was warmth in that smile. Real warmth. But I will be honest with you. If anyone threatens humanity again, the builders will wake. And they will not be gentle. We hope that never happens. We hope the galaxy can find peace. But if it cannot, if someone decides to threaten our people, know that we are protected. We are loved by beings older than the stars. And they will always defend us. The chamber was silent for a long moment. Then, slowly, one representative began to clap. Then another. Then another. Soon the entire chamber was filled with applause, with sounds of approval in 100 different languages. On Earth, in the underground facility beneath Korea, Director Jisoo watched the speech on a screen. She smiled and wiped tears from her eyes. They did good, she said to no one. Our children did good. Behind her, in the great chamber, the builder called Unit 1 floated in silence. Its energy was low, its movement slow. But if Jisoo looked closely, she could see patterns moving across its surface. Patterns that almost looked like Pride. Dr. Mira joined her at the screen. Do you think we will ever need them again? The builders, I mean. I hope not. They've given us so much already. Too much, maybe. What do you mean? Jisoo turned to look at the ancient being floating above them. They spent 200,000 years protecting us. They gave us their knowledge, their technology, their love. And now they are dying, fading away because they chose to save us instead of themselves. She walked closer to the builder, looking up at its enormous form. The least we can do is become worthy of that sacrifice. We need to grow up, stand on our own, make them proud. In her mind, she felt a response. It was faint, barely a whisper, but it was there. You already make you as proud. You always have. Years passed, decades, centuries. Humanity spread across the galaxy, not as conquerors, but as friends. They traded with thousands of species. They shared their technology and learned from others. They helped build a new galactic civilization, one based on cooperation instead of fear. The builders slept. Their energy grew lower each year, their movements slower. Scientists predicted that within 1,000 years, they would be gone completely. But they left something behind, something more valuable than all their technology or their power. They left humans in schools across the galaxy. Children of every species learned about the builders. They learned about the ancient beings who had watched over a small planet for 200,000 years, who had given everything to protect their children, who had shown the galaxy what love really meant. And in the deepest parts of Earth, in a chamber that would exist long after humans had spread to distant stars, Unit 1 still floated, barely awake, barely alive, but watching, always watching, because that is what parents do. They watch their children grow. They feel proud when they succeed. They feel sad when they struggle. And no matter how old those children get, no matter how far they go, parents never stop loving them. The galaxy had proclaimed war on humanity. They had expected an easy victory against a young, weak species. They had no idea who built our weapons. They had no idea how much we were loved. And in the end, that love saved everyone, not just humanity. Everyone. Because when humans became leaders of the galaxy, they remembered what the builders taught them. They remembered that true strength is not about conquest or power. It is about protection, about sacrifice, about caring for those who need help. The builders' legacy lived on, not in their technology or their weapons, but in the hearts of the children they had raised. And that was enough. That was always enough.